What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're finally gonna get to drive the Zwitter. So it's been a minute since we posted a video. I've had a lot going on in my personal life, big changes for me, which I will get to a little later in the video. But we've also been getting stuff done around here, just not filming it too much. So the plan for this video is to finally drive the Zwitter. It's coming up on 10 months that I've had the car, and you know, I'm tired of just looking at it. I'd like to enjoy it. So we have a little list here of things that need to get done. We got wiper motor, doesn't need to be done to drive it. Door seals, same. Bleed and adjust brakes, which is done. Motor, which I'll show you in a minute, and trans oil. Something else I need to add on to that is we need to bolt the body back down because it's just laying on the pan. So that's pretty important. This is the motor that I've been building up for the last couple of days, just cleaning up. I bought this, and I think I had it on a video. I bought it maybe 6 months ago, pulled it all apart, degreased it, changed some gaskets, painted all the tins. Actually just sourced this 36 horse tin. We got Zwitter only air cleaner, Zwitter only carburetor, little blue screamer distributor. Nothing special, just kind of put it together with parts that I've had laying around. So before we pull the Zwitter out and get started on at least bolting it down, I want to just update you on what's been done in the shop. Out here, as you can see, John's finished his truck, which we didn't show any of that, but cool little truck. He's been driving around a bit, and I acquired a new truck. This is a 81 diesel. Got it with a blown head gasket. I threw a head gasket in it, a couple of hours, and she runs and drives. It's got brakes, clutch works. I've driven it around the yard a couple times. So I'm excited to eventually get into that, lower it, put an interior in it. Again, nothing special. Probably just move it on, maybe keep it for a little while, but you know me. I like to partake in the barter system. And on the Renault, the last video we put out was doing the rear air ride in the Renault. If you go back and watch that, I used some bags that I had laying around and I couldn't take it. So I ordered the ones that I wanted, pulled it all out. I rebuilt the lower bag support arms and had to re-drill the top ones to get the new bags to fit, but it's all done how we want it. We'll hop back on that in a later video, but the weather is beautiful in Tennessee and I want to enjoy it. So this video is dedicated to the Zwitter. Let's get started. All right, I got the car pulled out, and before we get to bolting the body to the pan, I just want to go over a few things that I've gotten done and didn't document. First off, we got the gas tank in. How sick is this gas tank? If you know, you know. Zwitter only gas tank. Fuel line, petcock's in, and then I also hooked up the steering, new coupler, new hardware. I have had a steering coupler come apart on me, so definitely do what's right with that. Don't half-ass that part. I've taken this door card off and the vent window out. I want to put new vent windows in and dividing bars. I have some later model ones. I might change the parts over, change the glass over, just to keep it more period correct. So let's get this thing bolted back together. I'm not going to show it, but for those who don't know, I will go over what it entails. So behind the rear wheels, we got a bolt on each side. In the rear, you've got 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the back, 2 on the other side. I believe it's 9 on each side through the heater channels, 4 up front in the heater channels, and then you have the 2 that I already started for the front beam. So let's get it. All right, guys, so it's the next day and the car is completely bolted down and the weather is the exact opposite of what it was yesterday. So that's good. Thank you, truck. All right, so let me show you the ones you can see. Through the back, you have your 4 in the middle, 4 up top. So those are all buttoned down, and the 2 front beams. My plan for today is to get this motor running. It's currently Saturday, so I want to get the motor running on the bench, make sure there's nothing catastrophic going on with it. Obviously it's untested, you know how we do. And I also want to get the engine to body seal in, which is a pretty important seal as far as these cars goes. It kind of keeps heat from rising from below the engine up into the engine compartment. So kind of important. A huge bitch to put in though. I think I'm gonna start working on that. We'll see there's a little groove that it slides into, and usually they're kind of smashed up. I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure that's the case. So let's take a peek. All right, so for the back one, I've seen a lot worse. There is this going on over here. We'll have to straighten that out a bit. But basically it's a T gasket and it slides through there. As far as the main one goes, there are definitely a few more spots that are going to be a pain, but overall, I've seen worse and I've dealt with worse, so we should be able to get it. So I'm going to get that going, and I'll bring you back and show you what's good. All right, little update. Got some good news, some bad news, and then some more good news. Good news, engine compartment seal is in, and I didn't have to do it. Thank you, Paul. On to the bad news. This is the engine in the previous scene that was all dressed up. Did a compression test on it, and 2 cylinders are completely dead. So that will be a rebuild. That's the bad news. Good news, we have this now all dressed up. This is the 25 horse that came with it that I sold to Paul. So he said, let's just throw it in until I build that motor. We got something to use. So I'm really appreciative of that. Thank you, Paulinho. Next thing up is the batteries. Doing the compression tests and just testing the other motor really drained the 2 batteries that I have. So I'm gonna get them up to the auto parts store, see if they could charge them up for me, because trickle chargers just aren't doing the trick in the time I need them to. And once we pick those up, we'll get that thing running on the bench. And then I gotta do a couple of things for the transmission. I gotta fill that with oil, get the clutch hooked up, the coupler. I got throttle cable and choke cable ran already. And then hopefully John will be over here to help me get it in. Can't do this stuff alone. Probably the #1 tool, for lack of a better word, is just your buddies. So first step, get these batteries charged. All right, batteries are charged. I think they were charged. I think it's the $5 swap meet starter that's really giving us the issue. I've just been messing with the taillight wiring. Gotta rewire basically the sub harnesses to the taillights, so just messing around with that. But I think we should get this baby running. Did a compression test on it and everything looks pretty good. Obviously we've had this thing running before, so I don't foresee it not running now. All right, so we're gonna get our ignition wired up and see if she doesn't pop off. let's go. So we knew it was gonna run. Obviously, we've gotten this motor started before, but it's just nice to get all the new bits on it and see it run for sure. The oil is kind of thin, so I'm gonna do an oil change on it, but we are gonna move forward with putting it in. It still needs a little bit of a tuning, but that's to be expected. So I'm gonna get the transmission in order. I'm not really gonna be able to show that just because it's kind of tight in there. But I don't think it's anything you wanna see anyway. Filling a split case with gear oil. Smells like shit, and it's shit work. All right, so it's the next day. We ran into a little side quest yesterday. John's truck, as you can see, is in the shop and up on off of all fours. He started sucking rust. He had purchased a gas tank, but it was running good and we didn't see any rust in the filter. And then yesterday, it sucked some rust into the carburetor. So we decided to pull it in. He had the tank already, but it turns out it was the wrong tank. So John did the whole cleaning and everything, and I just got home and I don't know where he is. So looks like I'm off in the corner today. Got the car jacked up, got the wheel off. I'm gonna get started on all that transmission stuff I talked about yesterday, and we'll go from there. So before this thing gets all filthy from driving it around, I just wanna give a huge shout out to Jake and Will over at HR. Look at the bottom of this car. This car is 73 years old. They stone chipped the whole bottom and color matched it. It's just sick. Well, we're gonna fuck it up though. Let's go. All right, so we've gotten all the transmission stuff accomplished. We've got fluid in it. Clutch cable's hooked up, the coupler's hooked up, shifter is slightly adjusted. I usually do it once I could drive the car, but I'm moving on to the wiring, and I want to get this done before I get the motor in, just to make sure all the wires for the ignition system are good. If you go check out HR AutoWorks YouTube, you'll see this car and what it started as. And somebody had put, you know, peanut turn signals, different taillights on it. So there's a lot of extra wiring going on. This is what I've pulled out of it so far. And I just started kind of messing with it before I went to bed last night. Also, if you take a look at HR's Facebook page, Jake does a really good job of documenting all the cars that they build over there. Check that out and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so I pulled up and printed a schematic for this car. It's actually for a 53 oval, but it's basically the same car. So what I'm doing now is I'm just finding any cut or disconnected wires and working on those first. The plan is also I bought some long leads, and I'm basically going to test continuity from the back of the car to the front of the car, just to make sure none of the wires running to the back are broken or anything. Once the broken and unconnected wires are done, then we'll start worrying about getting semaphores wired in. There's a lot of switches in this car. A Zwitter has just an on and off key switch and then a push button, so that all has to be wired. I had my key switch rebuilt, so there's nothing going to it, and the same thing with my button, my starter button. So I'm just gonna chip away at that, and we'll bring it back. All right, little update. I've kind of just put my head down and got to work on this wiring. If you remember what it looked like, it's much more cleaned up. Pretty much all the original wires were used. I've got the headlights ran down. I have the correct fuse box. This is from like a barn door, so I have to change this out at some point. But we got wires ran to the headlight buckets. Everything's pretty close. But I think I'm gonna move forward and get the engine in because it's wired enough to drive the car. All the tedious light stuff I'll deal with in the next video, but the goal for this video is to drive the car. I'm still waiting on the bulbs for all of the speedo lights. This is kind of cool. This is the lighter. and it works. So that's kind of cool. Also, we have a working dome light and push button. So we are ready to get the motor in. I have it pulled out. I still have to take the bench starting system off of it. I don't have any help today, but I should be able to get it in. We've done it before, so let's get started. So motor is in. I have the fuel lines all hooked up, but I have a fuel leak. The leak, if you can see that blue paper towel right there, the leak is outside of the chassis, thankfully. Tomorrow I'll check down in the chassis to see, hopefully, that it's not leaking in there. But I think I'll be able to cut that line back and reattach, and we should be good. So I'm gonna do that first thing tomorrow. It's starting to rain out. I'm not gonna be able to record anymore. This tin can gets a little loud. So tomorrow we'll get that fuel line fixed. I have the fuel off to it right now, just so it doesn't leak all over the place. But just so you know. No fuel. So this morning we got out here and we repaired the fuel line. We were super lucky. There was just enough meat hanging out of the chassis to get a new flex line on there. All is good. So let's get this thing started. She's kind of started. I have the idle set way too low, but for safe measures. So it starts with the ignition system in the car. I'm pumped about it. Carburetor needs going through. The timing needs to be set, but we're one step closer. Fuel system's in, ignition system's in, motor's in. Next, which it's gonna probably be a day or two before I get back out here, is gonna be lights. I have all the wires ran. I got to do bulbs. I have an order on bulbs. That should be here Monday. Today is Saturday. So I'll probably just wait to get that stuff. The whole plan for this is to be able to bring it to Circle Your Wagons in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is the 4th or the 3rd. It's a week from today, basically, or a week from tomorrow. So hopefully all is done. I mean, I'm just trailering it there, drive it off the trailer into the show, back onto the trailer and home. So I'd really like to get it there. And so far so good. We got one more week and that should be plenty of time. Guys, it is currently Monday. Yesterday, sun went to bed early. I got out here and wired the semaphores up, tail lights, brake lights, that's all good. I did get one of the headlights connected and it didn't work. So I had this is like a barn door fuse box that was in here. I'm going to install the correct one, get all the fuses changed, reinstall them, and see what that does for me. I'm hoping that that is it. I didn't test for power or anything, they just didn't work, and I went back inside. So I'm gonna change that box, see what we get. New fuse boxes in, all wired up, new fuses up top and down here for the headlight box, new bulbs. So let me set you up. We'll see if it works. Should be city lights, headlights. What do we got? Let's go. All right, I'm gonna get the other one wired up and then get the headlights in, and then we might be ready for a yard ride. Let's go. Mission for this video was to drive the Zwitter. Mission complete. I am so pumped on this car, especially now that it's just not sitting in the corner for the last 10 months. But there's still a ton to do. I got to get the rest of the interior in. I just put a seat in it to cruise around. All the lights work, the semaphores work. I still need to adjust the valves. I'd like to get some spacers for the back wheels. I still want to narrow the front end, but that might be after I enjoy it now that I got to ride it a little bit. And then I just have to nut and bolt check it this week before the show on Sunday. Obviously, cars go together. You stop working on them for a little bit. It's always good to just go back and make sure the important stuff is tight because you don't want to run into an issue. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for your patience. The news I have is that, as I've said before, I'm a plumber and I've gone out on my own. So I'm hoping to not have a bunch of extra time, but that was the case this week, which allowed me to get this done. And it may be going forward too. You know, if I can make some money, work a little less, that'd be great. Obviously, I wanna get as much work as possible, so we'll see how that goes. But like I said, thank you all for watching, thank you for your patience, and we'll see you next week.